It's one of Oregon's greatest unsolved mysteries, the disappearance of Kyron Horman. 15 years after the little boy vanished from school, we look back at the investigation.
Kyron, we're gonna bring you home, buddy.
Share never-before-seen police body cam footage of Kyron's stepmother in custody following a traffic stop.
I'm gonna read your rights.
Okay. And speak with Kyron's parents.
And in my mind, we have to keep looking for him.
Who reflect on the search.
It's earth-shattering. I mean, it's just not something that you ever come back from.
I'm Kyle Aboshi, investigative reporter with KGW Channel 8. I remember that day vividly, June 4th, 2010. We were coming back to the station from another story when my wife called. She was worried. She'd received an automated phone call from Portland Public Schools warning that a little kid had gone missing. The phone call was intended to just go to parents of Skyline School, but instead it went out to the entire community. Suddenly, parents all over the city were worried. What happened? And where's this little kid?
Kyle came to school this morning. Kyron came to school this morning. He's 7 years old with his stepmom for the science fair. He was wearing this outfit.
Well, Steph, the Sheriff's Department launched a massive search within an hour of learning that Kyron was missing.
The FBI is also on scene.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kyron, we're gonna bring you home, buddy. Nothing is more important to your family, to your friends, to us. So.
Police are not releasing a lot of details except to say the case is now a criminal investigation.
I was fully expecting them to just slap the cuffs on her and take her away. They're gonna do it any second. They're gonna take her away. They're gonna do it. Here we go. This is gonna happen. And it doesn't work that way.
If you have seen Kyron or have any information you think may be beneficial, please call Portland Police.
Kyron was due home off the school bus at 3:45. He did not get off the bus.
And have they found any sign of him at all?
No, not that I've heard of any sign of him at this point.
7-year-old Kyron Horman was last seen after his stepmother, Terry Horman,
There's his picture.
drove him to school for one of the biggest days of the year, the school science fair.
The second grader at Skyline Elementary had worked hard on his project for the science fair.
This is a picture she took of the second grader with his project, the red-eyed tree frog.
After touring exhibits together, they say goodbye in the school hallway. She leaves for home. Kyron heads toward his classroom.
It's the last time anyone remembers seeing him.
Terry Horman posts photos of Kyron from the science fair on her Facebook page.
Kyron doesn't get off the school bus. His stepmom calls the school and learns the teacher had marked him absent.
This is devastating for the family, as you might guess, and for anybody that knows him. We just want to make sure he gets home safe.
By 9 o'clock, as we watched search teams wade through high, grassy fields, Kyron had been missing more than 13 hours.
Police declared the area a major crime scene. By morning, the military and crews on the ground joined the search.
He's not the kind of child that would just go out of school and just go, searching or wandering around. He's just a very timid, sweet boy.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
All right, let me know. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Gates. I'm a captain with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and I'm the incident commander.
In addition to the teams in the sky and on the ground, we're told about 50 detectives are also working the case.
The focus, the area around the school.
We're moving forward under the premise that we're looking for a living Kyron Horman.
On this rainy Sunday, police interviewed parents and children at Skyline School.
They're just trying to talk the kids through and just see if they can pick up any grains of information that they can to help, just to help.
The search turned into a massive community effort. From homemade signs to food donations, those who couldn't search did what they could to help.
Then on Friday, 1 week after Kyron's disappearance, his family speaks publicly for the first time.
Kyron, we miss you, we love you, and we need you home right now.
Search crews made their strongest push yet, with hundreds of volunteers from around the state joining the search for Kyron Horman.
We need a clue. We need that aha.
This is the kind of terrain searchers are having to comb through: tall grasses, dense vegetation, and steep slopes. It makes for a slow and tedious process.
The pressure to turn up something intense, as so far each day has ended with little to report.
It's always frustrating, when we're not finding anything, especially when we have such high hopes.
Investigators suspended the search and rescue. It's become clear Kyron is not simply lost.
Would he just go on a hike at the end of the year? That doesn't seem like something he would do.
Detectives announced this has become a criminal investigation. And the focus?
Where is she and why is she not speaking?
We wanted to speak out as the natural parents for Kyron.
Behind the scenes, we'd later learned suspicions were mounting. His family had come apart.
Terry was on a whole nother playing field than we were. It was 3 against 1, and she was not looking out for Kyron. She was not interested in helping in any way.
Weeks after Kyron disappeared, police are handing out a questionnaire to parents and students at Skyline School,
asking people if they'd seen the stepmom or the family's white truck in the area the day the boy disappeared.
Investigators say they've talked with the majority of parents and staffers, but there's still people they want to interview.
Then,
hello, I'm Tracy Barrett.
And I'm Joe Donlan.
The unexpected.
The Kyron Horman investigation takes another turn. Now a reliable source tells News Channel 8 officers were prepared to arrest stepmom Terry Horman for hiring a hitman to kill her husband.
Kyron Horman filed for divorce, sought a restraining order against Terry Horman, and accused her of trying to hire a hitman to murder him.
And it was based on a lot of information that was provided, so it wasn't a sudden, say, reactionary type of decision that was made.
At that same news conference, Kyron's dad revealed another behind-the-scenes bombshell about Terry.
I think everyone knows the fact that she's taken her two polygraphs. She has not passed those 2 polygraphs.
Terry Horman hired a defense lawyer and moved to her parents' home in Roseburg.
Now again, Terry Horman has not been named a person of interest or a suspect in this case.
Terry Horman has never spoken to the media, but in court documents calls Kane's allegations vicious and calculated to inflame and poison public opinion against her.
Court papers from the divorce revealed Terry Horman had been sexting with another man after Kyron disappeared.
She's got some guts. I'll give her that. Now's not a good time to be doing stuff like that, but I guess I don't expect anything less.
Edie, are you cooperating with investigators? By late summer, a grand jury started hearing sworn testimony from Terry Horman's friends. No charges were filed. Is she bound to testify, or could she say no?
She was subpoenaed. I look at people's actions, and the actions I see don't reinforce the fact that they're completely innocent. And whether it's related to Kyron or not, something's being hidden.
2 years after the boy's disappearance, Kyron's biological mother filed a civil lawsuit against Terry Horman, later dropped.
The time has come for Terry to take responsibility for what she has done and to tell me and my family where Kyron is and how he got there.
Terry Horman tried to change her name and appeared on the witness stand before a judge denied the request.
Kyron Horman is missing. He needs to be found. I love my son. I want him home more than anything.
Terry, what's your reaction to the judge denying this name change?
Hi, Kyle. No, thank you.
Horman, who now lives in California, has maintained her innocence, appearing on national TV and magazines.
She talks about Kyron's disappearance and also what she calls a bogus murder-for-hire plot to kill her husband.
I don't believe she'll ever be truly honest about what happened. I think even when we find Kyron, she will not reveal what happened that day.
But the search for him is still going strong.
Today, another under-the-radar search today for Kyron Horman. Police searched the woods, the water, and multiple properties over the years, but haven't found anything.
For comment. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said, quote, "The investigation is continuing," end quote.
They've also released age-progressed photos of what Kyron would look like now as a teenager.
Kyron is a sweet little boy that just wanted to live his life and to go camping and fishing and be a kid, and he got that taken from him.
I've been covering this case for 15 years, and people always ask, what do you think? Did he maybe wander away from school and just got lost? Hard to imagine. People search this area really well. Maybe he was abducted by a stranger. Again, unlikely. It was a busy day at school that day. There likely would have been a struggle, or someone would have seen that. How about somebody he trusted, though, that he knew? That seems to make sense. Police have never said, though. Most recently, they did issue a statement explaining investigators are working to digitize and reorganize the entire case, including thousands of pages of reports, photos, and evidence. When the case is digitized, the file will be re-examined by a special unit at the FBI. And in the coming months, detectives will meet with the DA to evaluate the case. I've been told there are boxes and boxes of files in this case, and I've asked to see them, but told no. Many other people have done the same thing. In fact, recently, I put in a public records request for all requests from the public to law enforcement seeking access to those records. 2 stood out. One was from Terry Horman's adult son, James Moulton. He too wanted to look at the files, but was told no because it's an ongoing investigation. Another request was from a former prosecutor who's investigating the case. She put down a deposit of almost $10,000 for records the DA's office warned will be heavily redacted. Doubtful we'll get anything new from that. But through those requests, we did learn this. Over the past 15 years, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has spent a total of $1.9 million on the investigation. Over the years, I've collected my own files, notes, emails, phone calls, that type of thing. But there is one item that I haven't shared: video of Terry Horman. In December of 2016, she was arrested in the San Francisco area for allegedly driving a stolen vehicle. The body cam video is kind of interesting.
One of the things I do need to do before I talk to you, since you're under arrest right now, is I'm going to read your rights, okay, and then we can talk about this paperwork and see what we can do for you. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir. Well, talking to you, is this going to alleviate the situation? Because I have the title.
Right. I'm going to show you what I have, and we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to try and help you.
Okay, because I desperately want to get this resolved, and this is not.
Then we're going to do that.
I don't understand why I'm under arrest, though, because
okay.
I didn't steal anything.
Police in Belvedere, California, didn't ask her about Kyron. They were focused on the vehicle that her ex-boyfriend had reported stolen. She claimed her name was on the registration, and the charges were later dropped.
So my question is, though, is once you realize that I'm telling the truth, then I can go?
I don't make that decision. What I will do is I'm going to try and help you the best I can to determine what are the true facts, and then we'll go from there one step at a time. I'm going to help you as much as I can.
Investigators in Oregon haven't been able to speak with Terry Horman because she has a lawyer. I've tried to talk with her over the years, even traveling to California, where she lives now, but she's refused. One of the toughest things about covering this story is knowing that there's a little boy out there. He's missing. I'm a parent, and I can't imagine, especially going so long without having any answers. I think about that picture that we've all seen of Kyron standing in front of his science project. I spoke with his parents, Kyron Horman and Desiree Young. 15 years. What does this milestone mean to you?
That's a tough one. You know, it's probably split. So grateful that we have had the support that we have. We still have such a following and a support for Kyron that, you know, all of that is such a good thing. 15 years, it's tough. I mean, I talked to you back in the beginning, and I never thought we would be at 15 years. I just really didn't think. It's just really hard. It doesn't matter that 15 years has passed, it's still hard. We talk about it all the time where it's just some days are rougher than others.
What keeps your hope alive after all these years?
Well, that there's no clear information that tells us one way or another, you know, as far as whether he's still alive or not. To me, that definitely keeps me going. There's no definitive information that says that he isn't. And in my mind, we have to keep looking for him. We have to keep, you know, keep people's eyes and ears open when they're out and about. I think it's really important to keep that message going. And that's what motivates me. I think that they're still running down leads and they still have direction on the investigation. That they're still looking is also very, I think, a positive thing and very motivating as well. So I think without having more information that says that something is one way or another, and the fact that they haven't found him yet, I mean, I'm definitely motivated on all fronts because of all that.
What do you think happened to Kyron?
I mean, I feel like he was taken that day. I don't know if it was directly by her or someone else, whether it was at the school or a handoff off property somewhere. I personally feel like someone else was involved. I do feel like, again, I can't sit down and give you a court case on this, but I do feel like she's involved in some way, shape, or form. Was there for all the failed polygraphs. Statistically, there's something off about that, just in general. The lack of cooperation, the lack of coming forward, the lack of ever clearing the investigation. There's some, again, my opinion, there's some level of involvement there.
That day, June 4th, has been well documented. Is there anything that the public doesn't know about that day?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, everybody has held on to that story that came out initially, whether it's the first, second, or third version of Terry's timeline, or fourth or fifth. And the reality is super simple. Terry got to the school around 8:10, 8:15. It was before any other parent was in the school. It was before Miss Porter was in her classroom or had her classroom unlocked. That is strategic because Terry was walking around the school checking security aspects at the school before she ever walked around with Kyron. Terry also pulled Kyron out of the teacher chaperoned group. As you know, schools are very strategic about teaching kids something. So the science fair was not just about visiting with friends. It was about teaching them something. They had a questionnaire. They had to walk around with a teacher chaperoned group. They had to answer all the questions specific to the different exhibits so that they were learning at the same time they were having a little bit of entertaining fun. But the reality is that Terry walked around with Kyron to these other classrooms. She went to 3 classrooms. She walked up the gym stairs, walked down the hallway with Kyron to Miss Porter's classroom, which was the last stop. She took the photo of Kyron in front of his diorama and 2 of Kyron's friends. And she walked out the school with Kyron at that very moment. It is witnessed by people who were outside the school who know Kyron, his friends, their parents, their grandparents, and siblings. So we know that Terry walked out the school with Kyron and walked toward the truck. That is where he disappears. It's that simple. It's not complicated. Kyron was with one person that day, and one person was in charge of him. And that's the reality of what happened that day. She did everything to try and structure that day so that she could do this. She had planned it. She planned it months in advance. We know that she was out driving the roads, scoping sites. We know this because her car was very memorable. Eyewitnesses account for her all over the roads of Northwest Portland. And I believe she was testing cell phone signal as well to see where she would drop off of cell coverage.
How would she do that?
Just driving around, checking her phone, because we know that she was outside a cell signal, and when that phone pinged at 11 a.m., she came back into signal.
You'd mentioned several people saw her leave the school that day. Remind me of who that was.
His friend Carson, his grandma, and
Carson's
his
grandma?
sister. Yep. And then also the school bus driver, actually Kyron's bus driver, encountered Terry as she was leaving.
Did they see Terry get in the truck and actually leave the property, or just?
They didn't see her get in the truck. We do have an eyewitness on Skyline that says she got in the truck with someone else being in the truck. But they don't see her walking and getting in the truck, that full thing, because of where she was parked on Skyline, it was hidden. But they see Kyron walking with Terry as if they were walking together, not holding hands, but walking next to each other, going the same direction.
What is the message now?
I think it's the same. I think it's don't lose hope, don't give up. How many stories have we seen kids coming home 20 years later? Obviously, this is not a sprint, it's been a marathon, and I think it's going to continue to be, and hopefully it's resolved tomorrow. But until it is, we have to stay vigilant. We got to keep doing what we've been doing and say don't give up and keep grinding. I can't think of another way.
What does closure look like for you?
Bringing them home. Bringing them home. And I don't know what that means, but bringing them home.
When I'm 90, I'm still going to cry over this. This is something that changed our entire lives. You never move on fully from that. You don't get to a point where you get to say, oh, we get to close that door and move on to something else. It's a constant, and it's earth-shattering. I mean, it's just not something that you ever come back from.
So what's it going to take to solve this case? I don't know, luck? Maybe somebody finds something. Maybe there's a confession. Or maybe somebody spotted something 15 years ago that they never shared. Or at the time, didn't think it was all that significant. We can hope.